Good everyone, Organised. We're doing today. We have a review on the F-80 A-5 as another part of my jet spading, because I've been working on jets. In case you are new to the channel, never really played jets, but now that I've found a few that I like, I'm slowly starting to get into it. If by this point you haven't seen the 262 review, that's also on the channel and will be before this one. Next jet after that will be the Arado C3. There's also a review on the Arado B2 if you are interested. So, starting us off, I'm going to say this off the bat. I think this thing is easily one of the best starter jets, if not the best. It combines good speed with decent armament, although it can be a bit questionable at times. Has great maneuverability, although you won't be beating everything, just to point out. And it's rather forgiving to newer players of jets because it's one of those jets that just seems to do everything right. It has good speed, good acceleration, although not when stock, as you're going to see in its battle. Because you're going to see battle number 2, which is the battle where I didn't even have belts unlocked, so that gives you an idea. So, yeah, it's certainly a jet that if someone was to ask me what they should start off with jets with, this would probably be my pick, purely because of how good and forgiving it is. So let's go over the aircraft and let's take a look at its armament and its engine as well. So the engine is an Allison J33A17 jet engine with 1650 kilograms of thrust. It's perfectly capable. It seems to accelerate decently, although stock it can be a bit questionable, as you're going to see in this battle. But I still found it to be pretty dang good at its job regardless. In terms of armament, we have 650 caliber M2 branded machine guns, which they do hit decently hard, but you need belts unlocked, and also you need time on target for some of it. But don't worry, I'll show you how to make the guns work. But in this battle, I don't even have belts unlocked, so I'm running stock belts, stock performance, you name it. But of course, there is access to external weaponry as well. There is 2 1,000-pound bombs under the wings and also 8 H4 rockets under the wings. I would only advise strapping on bombs and rockets if you absolutely have to. As for belts, I recommend ground target ammunition at around 500 meters convergence to 600 meters convergence, as this seems to be the best for the aircraft overall, even though the guns are nose mounted, but it just feels the best to converge them onto target at 600 meters because that's where I tend to engage them from with 50 cals. But it's a very nice jet to fly, and it's easily one of the best starter jets, if not the best. And to prove that, how about we go take a look at my Spade review table and let's take a look at that. I'll see you all in a moment. So now you join me on my desktop. Obviously, I always keep my tables on my desktop just because it's easier that way. This is the Spade review table for the F-80 A-5, and in the hint up there in the top left, you'll notice it says flown with premium account. This is another one of those jets that I spaded with premium account. Although the first flight was not premium account, and that prevented me from getting belts or anything like that. So, and of course, you will notice as well bots are also listed separately because I don't count them as player kills. So if you're one of those who likes to calculate kill death ratio, please go ahead and do that. Of course, I didn't used to do this in my older Spade reviews, but in the newer Spade reviews, I will be doing so. So battle number 1 was 6 air kills, but of course 3 of them were bots. 5 ground kills, 1 assist. I did die in that match, 32,248 SL, 4,372 RP. Another point of note, I will not be including base bombing unless I did it in the match, because it's just easier that way. Battle number 2 was flown with premium account. 4 air kills, 0 ground kills, 0 assists, didn't die, 62,842 SL, 9,726 RP. Battle number 3 was 2 air kills, 0 ground kills, 0 assists, didn't die, 21,484 SL, 7,248 RP. Battle number 4 was 1 air kill, 0 ground kills, 1 assist, did die. Did I say air kills for ground kills? Whatever. 16,525 SL, 3,168 RP. Battle number 5 was 4 air kills, 0 ground kills, 0 assists, didn't die, 41,074 SL, 9,768 RP. Battle number 6 was 4 air kills, 0 ground kills, 2 assists, didn't die, 78,144 SL, 9,862 RP. Battle number 7 was 2 air kills, 17 ground kills, 0 assists, didn't die, 56,562 SL, 11,138 RP. Battle number 8 was 3 air kills, 0 ground kills, 0 assists, did die, 34,962 SL, 6,198 RP. Battle number 9 was 4 air kills, but of course one of them was a bot, 0 ground kills, 0 assists, no death, 47,969, nice, 9,732 RP. Battle number 10 was the match to Spade the Plane, which was 2 air kills, 0 ground kills, 1 assist, no death, 44,999 SL, and 14,717 RP. Overall, cracking Spade. This was easily one of my more favourite jets to fly. Whilst I did have more, I believe I had more deaths in this than I did the 262, this felt more forgiving. Because in 2 of the matches you can see there, well no, the only one where it was a potential carry which I failed on was battle number 8, where it was a 1 versus 6, and I tried to take on multiple different jets, one of which was an SU-11 which kicked my teeth in, as you can imagine. But it was certainly a jet that I found myself feeling a lot more capable than I did the 262, at least in some regards. Obviously, the Yabo has an air spawn, but I bet if I was to spade the normal 262, which doesn't get an air spawn, I'd still do better in the F-80 overall. But if you need a jet to start you off with, here's my shout. Anyway, how about we go to the gameplay and take a look at how the match went. I'll see you all in a moment. And welcome to the match. Immediately you're going to notice this is a 7-3 match if you know your BRs with the jets on my team, because obviously we do have a single F-84. The rest are mostly F-2Gs, a single Kika, 2 F-80s including myself, and then 1 Ki-84 high. That's my team composition. But then you look at the enemy team, where they have literally 1 prop and the rest is all jets. This was a bit of a mismatch, if I was to put it lightly. I forgot to mention we also have a P-51H. So taking off, obviously I am completely stock. Just remember that, I'm completely stock. It does take a bit to get this plane in the air, but once it does, you can wind it up effectively. However, my teammate there in the F-80 A-5, for some reason, decides to, well, he's about to in a moment, look in the battle chat over there, he's going to have an argument with the squirrels, unfortunately. And unfortunately, the squirrels won. Of course, I didn't really know why he'd crashed. I reckon he wasn't paying attention or just didn't let the jet wind up enough. But that's just how it is, unfortunately. So, the F-80's performance seems to be the best at low to medium altitude. It doesn't tend to like high altitude all that much, at least from what I've experienced. It feels like the jet engine doesn't produce as much thrust as it does at high altitude. My personal recommendation would be to keep the F-80 below around about 4 kilometers, at least from personal experience. This is because I tended to find that the jet engine really didn't produce that much thrust above 4k. And even then it was starting to lose power at about 3. At least it felt like it. So climbing a little bit, obviously I'm not planning to climb too much. The teammate in the F-80 has actually given me a bit of advice, because obviously I was new to this jet. I was relatively new to this jet. And new to jets in general. And he was saying speed is key, no altitude, just speed. And I don't advise that sort of playstyle in the F-80. You need at least some altitude. Not much, but you need some. That's all I'm saying. Because trust me, you're gonna need it, because half the time you're gonna be fighting jets like the Su-11, Su-9, attackers, Hortons, and you need at least some advantage over them in the long run. So it's taken a little bit for the jet to wind up now, but the F-80 is perfectly wound up to around 365 miles per hour, which it took it a bit of time, but remember I was climbing, so just remember that. So obviously I'm picking my target. Initially I was going to go for the Su-11, but obviously I'm planning to just take out whatever the fuck gets in my gun sight, because we need to start dropping the odds, as you can tell by my team. Considering most of our team is props, we really need to start knuckling down on these jet numbers. My initial target was going to be the Su-11, but obviously I don't want the Su-9 to slip in behind me. I decided to also go for the attacker. I fire a burst, but unfortunately I don't hit him. I used the speeder belt up in a slight dive there to pull up for some altitude. Obviously not much, I'm still trying to keep my airspeed above 300 miles per hour if I can. But remember, this is a stock jet. And at this moment the attacker is currently wondering what to do. I score a hit. But of course, this is where I spot the Su-9, which gives me a much better angle. And there he goes. Pilot snipe for kill number 1. Of course, we still have a ton of enemy jets left, and we're losing props like it's going out of style. One of our F-2Gs is also carrying bombs. Short burst on the attacker there, set him on fire. He's going to be my second kill as he hits into the tree line. That's kill number 2. Of course, I did want to go after the Su-11 first, but I think I think at the time I was thinking, I don't know the performance characteristics of an Su-11, so I want to get some altitude to guarantee the fact that I have an energy advantage, at least in some form. So that's why I broke off to the right, went towards this F-2G over here, and decided to do that. Purely because I don't know the performance of the Su-11 all that well. I've worked out it's already faster than the F-80, at least from personal experience. Obviously it might not be in terms of like overall top speed, but at least in my opinion, I'd rather get an advantage over the Su-11 than take it on one-on-one without an advantage. So, yeah. So on the enemy team left, we only have a Horton, a Su-11 attacker, a J-21 who is about to get shot down, and also a J-28B, the Swedish vampire. Now, out of all of these, I'd probably want to kill the attacker and the Horton first, but luckily my team is already dealing with the attacker and, well, they're dealing with the Horton at least. The attacker will be dealt with by me later on. The Horton's currently being engaged, and so is the J-28, and of course our 2 remaining props, and of course me and the Kika are the only remaining jets on my team. The F-2Gs have put in some good work, these two, Land Warrior and Loki. Although Land Warrior obviously was bombing bases, which didn't really contribute much, but that's just how it is. The Kika at the moment is currently RTB to get some ammunition, and this is where I'm gonna, well, this might be called a kill steal by some, it's not to me, and you'll see why. So the J-28 is trying to take on the single F-2G, which is now turned into 2 F-2Gs, and they do score some hits, but he's not burning, and he's not really that well crit. So I swoop in and finish it off. Kill number 3. That just leaves the attacker FB1 left. Now, I've never really fought attackers, and this was a new jet to me. Obviously, I faced him in props. Like, props is pretty hard to fight these things, I'll admit. But fighting him in a jet, I wasn't really sure what he could do. And what he could do compared to me. I obviously knew he was going to be faster eventually, because, well, he has an energy advantage, and I'm bone stock. And I think at the time he was around a quarter to half spaded. I'm not entirely sure, I didn't ask him. But that was at least my thought process. Now, at the moment, as you can see, he's just pulling away. He's really hauling ass, and there's not much I can do about it. The Kika's currently landed and is currently rearming, and the 2 F-2Gs that are left, they're, well, one of them is gonna almost get themselves killed, and it's Loki 2, the F-2G, that's gonna almost get himself killed. But luckily the attacker doesn't seem to want to pull off what was pretty much presented to him on a silver platter. So as you can see there, Loki's pulling up for the attacker, but of course the attacker has all the speed and all the altitude in the world. It doesn't matter, the F-2G is not touching it. But eventually, Mad Wolf is going to switch target from the F-2G towards me, because obviously the F-80 is a very capable jet, and most players tend to notice that. So don't be surprised if you're spading this jet and you're focused, because that's just how I tended to notice the actual battles. They tended to go for me. So I do score a couple of hits, but in a moment I'm about to score a crit, and I think I nailed, at least mostly, I think I hit the engine. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I hit the engine. I put in chat crit, and this is where I think that I'm going to be able to catch him. And I figure I'll press the attack, and whilst he is pulling away for the moment, not for long. That's what made me think I hit the engine, because he just seemed to lose all of his speed and all of his power, just like that. I said to the team that, well, said to the F2G specifically, you guys repair, I'll keep him occupied. But as you can see, the distance is starting to close, and this is where I thought in my head that I'd hit his engine. Now, of course, stock belts, they're not going to do the most amount of damage, but they still do enough, and I think I've hit his engine, which is why he's struggling to outrun me here. I'm not sure if an attacker can actually outrun an F-80 on the deck. I've never had to do a full horse race with that, but he swings it round to try and go for a dogfight, but he just can't. That's kill number 4, and that is the end of this match. Nice short little battle, perfectly demonstrates what a stock F-80 can do at least. I figured I wouldn't show a spaded or nearly spaded F-80 so that it gives you more of an idea of how I would play it stock. But this was certainly a plane that I really enjoyed, and if you really do need a starter jet, look no further. That's all I'm saying. This was easily one of the more fun jets. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on the F-80 A-5, and I will catch you all on the next one.